What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and it's Top 10 Thursday. Everyone loves a good challenge, that little notch up in difficulty that makes victory feel like it's truly earned. Occasionally though, game designers will go a little bit overboard and make you face a foe that's nearly impossible. This week, I wanted to take a look at some of the most brutal badasses around on my list of the top 10 hardest bosses in gaming. Number 10. The End. When most people think of the world's best sniper, they probably don't imagine a 103-year-old man with a parrot on his shoulder. The End is a devastating fight because half the battle is just trying to find him. At the beginning of the duel, Snake is cornered in one part of a valley, with the End perched somewhere off in the distance. The only way to get out alive is to have better aim than the greatest sharpshooter of all time. Using your rifle, you have to quickly search the hills for the glint of his scope in order to take the shot before he can. This is a boss fight that requires you to be super aware of your surroundings while at the same time patient enough to fire that perfect bullet under pressure. Number 9. Goro. Those who spent a lot of time in the arcades during the 90s will remember this forearm demon all too well. Goro was built by the developers to purposely be a broken fight. Really, they've admitted that they designed his stats to be imbalanced to actually score extra quarters from gamers. The result of this is a hideous character who hits 8 times harder than any other player in the game. In his backstory, it's said that Goro hasn't lost a fight in 500 years, and seeing a match with him, it's easy to see why. Most people can't even last 30 seconds in the ring with him. To make losing to him even worse, when Goro was done pounding you into the ground, he'd actually laugh. That is seriously cold-blooded. Number 8. Jubileus. Few things are more epic than trying to slay an actual god. This massive, statue-looking thing is literally an eternal being that's been awoken to destroy all of reality. The only person standing in its way is Bayonetta. Thankfully, she has plenty of guns, magic, and heavy kicks in her arsenal. Part of what makes this boss so difficult to take down is that you're trapped in a very small space with it. You're inside a sphere that is constantly shifting elemental types. When the energy changes, so too do Jubileus' attacks, creating a constant dance to stay ahead of her pattern or be killed instantly. If that wasn't absurd enough, she basically has thousands of health points. When you do manage to beat her though, it's all worth it because you get to boot her directly into the center of the sun. Number 7. Nemesis. Survival horror games can be really tough because they wear you down over time. It's not always about the first zombie you fight, it's about the 20th zombie when you're out of ammo and low on life. This is exactly what makes Nemesis so hard. Throughout Resident Evil 3, you're hunted by this giant monster. Right when you least expect it, he shows up just to try and rip you apart, and with each new encounter, he comes back a little stronger. At first, he has a rocket launcher, then he grows grotesque whips from his arms, and finally, he abandons the human form altogether to become a huge acid-spitting ball of teeth. This creature is damn near immortal, and if he even touches you, it's game over. The only thing that finally puts him down for good is using an experimental laser to vaporize his limbs and dropping a nuclear bomb on him. Nemesis really just needs to learn to stay dead. Number 6. Awakened Alma. Here we have a ruthless test of skill. For this fight, it's not just necessary for you to strike down Alma as fast as possible, it's also mandatory that you dodge her hundreds of painful laser beams. The moment you hesitate, she charges up a super blast that can liquefy you, so you need to stay on the move. The key is to wait until she gets angry enough to rush you, and that's when you unleash the full fury of the dragon blade on her face. When she drops below half health, things get even more ridiculous. Alma will start summoning minions that can do a special stun attack to slow our ninja hero down. You now have to somehow shred them while at the same time still dodging doom lasers. It can seem a little unfair that this boss is so complex, but it just makes seeing her ultimate demise all the more sweet. Number 5. Sephiroth. This world-destroying psychopath has long been considered one of the darkest and most powerful villains in all of gaming. In Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora finds him looking off a cliff near the end of the game. This fight requires that you be extremely high level and have collected all the best magics. Even then, your odds of surviving are pretty low. Sephiroth is all about quick combos. Each time he swings his blade, 6 hits are happening simultaneously. If you corner him, he can teleport behind you and deliver a devastating blow. though. As you weaken Sephiroth, his strength increases, along with giving him access to far more explosive spells. Getting nailed by one of these nukes can wipe out most of your life. Defeating this foe almost feels like pure luck, because at any time he may fly up in the air and unleash a shadow flare to blow up the entire arena. Number 4. Dark Samus. Multi-stage bosses can be a real pain because they break you down as they drag on. Dark Samus is an evil clone whose body is primarily made out of a strange energy called Phazon, which gives her some rather unique talents. At the start of this duel, Dark Samus runs around firing a standard arm cannon. Here, it's a rather even match. Both Samuses are equal in ability, that is, until Dark Samus begins to charge herself up. This unlocks her true skills, like being able to make flash copies of herself, giving her the power to fly, and even letting her refill her own health. If you don't destroy these copies fast enough, they can even merge back into her original body, making her completely invincible for a short time. When she finally runs low on life, she'll use her one last super move, merging her body into essentially what is an oversized space dragon. This hulking beast floods the room with shockwaves and sweeping attacks, while also unleashing more of those terrible Dark Samus clones. All you can really do is save up your missiles, aim carefully, and hope it might be possible to win. Number 3. Vergil. Dante is a half-demon, half-human badass who's sworn to spend his life holding back the forces of hell. Unfortunately, his twin brother Vergil has the opposite plan in mind. Throughout the story of Devil May Cry 3, we see the growth of Vergil as an enemy, following the wicked path of his father on his eternal quest for power. When it comes time to finally face him, it's kind of a terrifying task. What makes him so vicious in battle is his blinding speed. Since he trained in the depths of the underworld for so many years, he has a body that's capable of moving faster than the eye can see. It can look like he's standing perfectly still while secretly he's launching a barrage of strikes. There's almost a beautiful madness to how hard this boss is, especially when Vergil activates his demonic side and doubles his already insane damage. Devil May Cry is well known for being rough, but Vergil will always be the pinnacle of its challenge. Number 2. Ornstein and Smough. Picking just one boss from the Souls series was incredibly tough. There's so many good options, but Ornstein and Smough stand out from the rest due to their brutal teamwork. Upon entering their lair, they both come at you at once, each fighting in their own custom style. Dragon Slayer Ornstein wields a light spear and dashes around trying to flank you, while Executor Smough uses a massive hammer to try and crush you in a single hit. If you collect the strongest armor in the game, you can at least survive a couple blows, but that won't save you from the devastating lightning attacks. Your main option for avoiding this is to try and stick close to one of the pillars, circle it, and slowly whittle down just one of your aggressors. However, winning isn't that easy. When you kill one, the other absorbs his power, creating an ultra-savage opponent. Seeing Smough with an electrified hammer is perhaps the scariest thing I've ever seen in any Dark Souls game. Number 1. Emerald Weapon. While the bosses on this list can be unbelievably difficult even with practice, Emerald Weapon is so impossibly hard that it can require 100 hours of side quests just to prepare yourself to fight him. This gigantic, murderous robot patrols the ocean floor, waiting for anyone foolish enough to come close. Before you even consider challenging him, you need to be level 99, have all the strongest magic and summons fully unlocked, and have a special item called Underwater Materia to keep you from drowning during the fight. In a typical JRPG, each player takes turns attacking, but Emerald Weapon doesn't like waiting around, so instead what he does is blows up everybody with 5 consecutive attacks each turn. The eyes on his shoulders can be randomly used to hit people for thousands of damage per shot, and it's usually followed by him stomping on one teammate with all of his 10-ton mass. Emerald Weapon is essentially an unstoppable killing machine. Nothing compares to his most diabolical move though, called Airtime. This multiplies all the materia you have equipped and deals it back as damage to yourself, meaning the more awesome gear you have on, the easier it is for him to simply destroy you. For his explosive moves, 1 million hit points, and agonizing attack speed, I am awarding Emerald Weapon my pick as the absolute hardest boss in gaming. Did your favorite bad guy not make the list? Got an idea for a future top 10? Leave it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Also, go follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna go play some Dark Souls and complain about it. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.